Hi everyone, Mike here from Watch It Paint It, and this time I'll be painting the Scourge beasts from Bloodborne. These guys have large bases, so I thought I'd start by adding some details to it. Though if you're interested in just speed painting these, you can skip the basing part and jump right to where the models are primed. As you can see, I'm mixing up some green stuff, and I'm going to be using this to make some paving stones on the ground. After I flatten out the green stuff, I'm using a piece of plastic card to make some brick patterns. After these have had some time to cure, I'm using my clippers to cut out some sections of it, and I'm going to super glue these in random places on the bases, followed by some earth texture. The idea here is to make the ground look like some old broken road that's in complete disrepair. Now, I did order a special tool from Green Stuff World exactly for these bases, but after I placed the order they said it would be here in 6 weeks. 2 weeks later, right after I glued these bricks onto the base, it arrived. I've never used one of these before, but the brick pattern is very similar to board game tiles in Bloodborne. Now if I can just get this lid off that apparently requires superhuman strength to open... Oh wait, it just pops off. Anywho, here's what it looks like, and I'll use this in a future video. Alright, back to the base. Now I'm adding earth texture all over the base and trying to cover the edges of the bricks to blend them into the mud. After the mud dried and shrank, I added a bit more in small patches that I didn't really like the look of. Now the models are ready to be primed, and for this I'll be using Chaos Black from Games Workshop. The first two colors I'll be adding will be completely dry brushed on. The first is a dark grey, Skaven Blight Dinge, and I'm using this all over the beast's body, making sure to always brush perpendicular to the direction of the hair. Next I'm switching to a lighter grey, Storm Vermin Fur, and this time I'm only dry brushing the parts of the Scourge Beast that I can see when looking straight down at it. Next I'm painting the inside of the mouth. I'm starting off with a couple layers of Bugman's Glow, and I'm making sure to paint in some gums. This is fine if it goes over the teeth. Once that's dried, I'm using Reichland Flesh Shade all over the inside of the mouth. While I'm waiting for that wash to dry, I'm going to paint the bricks on the base using the Fang, which is a deep blue grey. For the teeth and claws, I'm starting off with a base coat of light brown, Steel Legion Drab. Next I'm coming in with Screaming Skull, mixed with 2 parts water, and I'm painting the bottom 2/3 of the teeth and claws. I want some of that brown showing at the base. Now I'm going to paint all of the tattered rags hanging off of the beasts. I've picked 3 desaturated looking colors for this, a maroon, a brown, and a green. I'm mixing up the colors on each body just to give a bit of variety. I deliberately picked these colors because I have a lighter version of them that I want to use for the highlighting. After the stage, you can use a brown wash on the rags, but it isn't really necessary. I'm moving straight on to the highlights with the 3 colors you just saw. I'm using these 3 colors to paint the raised parts of the fabric on the top half of the beasts. Next I'm moving on to the eyes. The first thing I want to do is base coat each eye with Rakarth Flesh. Next I'm putting a small dab of a pure white scar, into the center of each eye. Then as a final step, I'm painting the entire eye socket with a single layer of fluorescent yellow. If you don't have fluorescent paints, then a bright orange, yellow, or green wash will give you a similar effect. That's the beasts completed, and if you aren't interested in the basing portion, you're done. I'm going to finish off these bases by first dry brushing all of the bricks with rust grey. Next I've got 2 dirt colors picked out. I'm first mixing a dark brown with equal parts water and giving the ground one fast coat of this. I'm not too worried about hitting some of the bricks or the claws. It makes sense that those would be dirty too. Once that's dried, I'm giving each base a dry brush with a lighter brown to pick out the top of the dirt and give it a dusty look. I decided I want these bricks to look a bit dirtier and more defined, so I put a dark wash over them and wicked away most of the excess on top of the bricks. The painting part is done, and the last thing to do before spraying this with a matte varnish is to clean up the base with a color of your choice. The last thing I'm going to do after the varnish is dry is to add some moss. I'm going to be adding some burnt turf from Cato Railroads, but first I've mixed up some PVA glue with water, and I'm putting that into random patches around the base. Then I'm just sprinkling on the moss and tapping off the excess. And there you have it, the Scourge beasts from Bloodborne. Thank you very much to all of our patrons for supporting the creation of these videos. If you want to see more from Bloodborne, just let us know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.